Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Scha Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyanajana Shalakaya Chakshuram Nidham Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Gaurva Bhistam Sapurkam Guruganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Abhidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Cha Divyad Bhagavat Premno Ibijapradam Vanshakoptarubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha patitanam pavenebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah namo mahavaranyaya krishna prema pranayate krishnaya krishna chaitanya namane gauratavishe namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is Madhya-lila chapter 1, the later pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And yesterday we heard how when Mahaprabhu was chanting during the Rathayatra and dancing, he would recite one verse which only Swarup Damodar knew the meaning of. And that verse is, Ya Kumara Hara Sa Eva Ivaras Ta Eva Chaitra Chapas Te Chonmilita Malati Surabaya Prodad Kadambanila Sachaivasmi Tatapi Tatra Surata Vyapara Lilavido Reva Rodasi Vedasi Taru Tale Cheta Samutkantate. And that verse is translated, that very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of Malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the Reva under the Vedasi tree. That is my desire. And this verse says, beginning, that very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj says you could translate that verse, Kumarahara, could be translated actually as that verse, and that very personality who stole away my youth is now again my master. So this is a very deep verse that Mahaprabhu would sing during the Rathayatra, and no one could understand it. Eshlokar artha jani ekala swarup Daibesa Vatsaratahan Giya Chenarup. That verse appears to be the hankering between some ordinary boy and girl, but its actual deep meaning was known only to Swarup Damodar. By chance, one year Rupa Goswami was also present there. So now we go back to where we left off yesterday. I'll start with text number 76. And this is the complementary verse that Srila Rupa Goswami wrote. Priyasoyam Krishna Saha Chari Kuru Kshetramilitas Tataham Sa Radha Tadidam Uvayo Sangama Sukam Tatapiyanta Kelan Madhura Murali Panchama Jushe Manome Kalindi Pulina Vipinaya Spriyayati. This is a verse spoken by Srimati Radharani. My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. I'm the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but still I would like to go to the bank of the Jamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of a sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. So Rupa Goswami is presenting this verse, and it's explaining that Mahaprabhu's mood during Rathayatra is Rathayatra is going from Nilachala temple. Nilachala temple has Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. So that is representation, Dwarka. And they're going to the Gundicha temple. The Rathayatra goes from the Nilachala temple to the Gundicha temple. And Gundicha temple is said to be representing is Vrindavan. So the mood of Mahaprabhu during the Rathayatra is wanting to take Krishna back to Vrindavan, the mood of Radharani, wanting to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. Hey Shlokara Sanke Parta Shuna Bhaktagan Jagannath Deki Jaiche Prabhura Bhavan. Now, all devotees, please hear a brief explanation of this verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is thinking in this way after having seen the Jagannath deity. Shri Radhika Kuruketre Krishnara Darshan Jajapi Payana Tabu Bhavana Aichan. The subject of his thoughts was Srimati Radharani, who met Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. Although she met Krishna there, she was nonetheless thinking of him in the following way. Rajabesh Hati Gora Manusha Gahan Kahan Gopavesh Kahan Nirjana Brindavan. She thought of him in the calm and quiet atmosphere of Vrindavan, dressed as a cowherd boy. But at Kurukshetra, he was in a royal dress and was accompanied by elephants, horses, and crowds of men. Thus, the atmosphere was not congenial for their meeting. Say Baba, say Krishna, say Brindavan. Jabe Pai, Tabe Hoy, Banshita Puran. Thus, meeting with Krishna and thinking of the Vrindavan atmosphere, Radharani longed for Krishna to take her to Vrindavan again to fulfill her desire in that calm atmosphere. Ahusjate Nalina Naba Padara Vindam Yogeshvarar Ridi Vichintyam Agara Bodai. Ahusjate Nalina Naba Padara Vindam Yogeshvarar Ridi Vichintyam Agara Bodai Samsara Kulpa Patito Tara Valambam Keham Jusham Api Manasi Udiyat Sadana. The gopis spoke thus, My dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower. Your lotus feet are the only shelter of those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. Tomara chanana mora braja puragare, hunai koraye jadi tabi panchapure. The gopis thought, Dear Lord, if your lotus feet again come to our home in Vrindavan, our desires will be fulfilled. In his Anubhashya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments, the gopis are purely engaged in the service of the Lord without motive. They are not captivated by the opulence of Krishna, nor by the understanding that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Naturally, the gopis were inclined to love Krishna for he was an attractive young boy of Vrindavan village. Being village girls, they were not very much attracted to the field of Kurukshetra, where Krishna was present with elephants, horses, and royal dress. Indeed, they did not very much appreciate Krishna in that atmosphere. Krishna was not attracted by the opulence of or personal beauty of the gopis, but by their pure devotional service. Similarly, the gopis were attracted to Krishna as a cowherd boy, not to sophisticated guys, not in sophisticated guys, or as a prince. Lord Krishna is inconceivably powerful. To understand him, great yogis and saintly persons give up all material engagements and meditate upon him. Similarly, those who are overly attracted to material enjoyment and to enhancement of material opulence, to family maintenance, or to liberation from the entanglements of this material world, take shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. But such activities and motivations are unknown to the gopis. They are not at all expert in executing such auspicious activities. Already transcendently enlightened, they simply engage their purified senses in the service of the Lord in the remote village of Vrindavan. The gopis are not interested in dry speculation in the arts, in music, or other conditions of material life. They are bereft of all understanding of material enjoyment and renunciation. Their only desire is to see Krishna return and enjoy spiritual, transcendental pastimes with him. The gopis want him simply to stay in Vrindavan so that they can render service unto him for his pleasure. There is not even a tinge of personal sense gratification. So, now, what we're encountering here is that Srila Rupa Goswami has written this parallel verse that explains Mahaprabhu's singing of the verse while Rathayatra is going on. And Rupa Goswami is explaining that the mood of Srimati Radharani in particular is wanting to take Krishna back to Vrindavan, wanting to be with him in Vrindavan. So he has written this verse on a palm leaf and put it in the roof of his thatched hut. So, and Mahaprabhu found that verse. Yate lila rasa parimalad gari vanya parita danya shoni vilasati vrita maturi madhuribi tatras mabis chatula pashupi bhava mugdan tarabi samvitas tvam kalaya varanolasi vinor viharam. The gopis continued, Dear Krishna, the fragrance of the mellows of your pastimes is spread throughout the forest of the glorious land of Vrindavan, which is surrounded by the sweetness of the district of Mathura. In the congenial atmosphere of that wonderful land, you may enjoy your pastimes with your flute dancing on your lips and surrounded by us, the gopis, whose hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions. So, did I read it? Okay. Bhagavatera shloka gudarta vishara karanya Rupa Gosai shloka koila loka bujaya. In one verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. And then the gopis continue, Dear Krishna, the fragrance and the mellows of your pastimes is spread throughout the forest of the glorious land of Vrindavan, which is surrounded by the sweetness of the district of Mathura. In the congenial atmosphere of that wonderful land, you may enjoy your pastimes with your flute dancing on your lips and surrounded by us, the gopis, whose hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions. E Mata Mahaprabhu deke Jagannate, Subhadra Sahita deke Bhamsena hihate. In this way, when Mahaprabhu saw Jagannath, he saw that the Lord was with his sister Subhadra and was not holding a flute in his hand. Because Subhadra never came to Vrindavan. So to see Jagannath there with Subhadra and without a flute, then this increases the mood of separation. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj explained that actually the Kurukshetra, where they met, the mood of separation is very predominant because they're near all the residents of Vrindavan are very near to Krishna. They've come to meet him. But at the same time, he's in royal dress. He's with elephants, horses, and much royalty. So they don't feel comfortable in that atmosphere. So although they're so close to Krishna, actually there's a mood of even greater separation, mood of feeling. Because without Vrindavan, pastimes with Krishna will not take place. Tribhanga Sundara Braje Brajendra Nandan Kahan Pava Ebansha Boryanukan. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful, his body curved in 3 places. His desire to see that form was always increasing. Radhika Unmarajaiche Uraba Darshane Udgorna Pralapa Taiche Prabhura Ratridine. Just as Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently with a bumblebee in the presence of Uddhava, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy talked crazily and inconsistently day and night. So, previously we heard from 13 to 17 of the Adi-lila, we heard describing Mahaprabhu's taking birth as a baby, as an infant, then as a boy, then his education, then his marriage, and having students. And suddenly we're now in the first chapter of Madhya-lila, and this chapter is called The Later Pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And here we're now really what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami intends to do is in particular accentuated by the Madhya-lila, the first chapter, and going on through the Antya-lila, because he wishes to present the later pastimes. He wishes to present the later pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so he's giving a resume here in the first chapter of the Madhya-lila of the most, of Mahaprabhu's intimate dealings with Srila Rupa Goswami and with the devotees, the exchange of talking about in separation, in the mood of Radharani from Krishna. This is the emphasis. And in this first chapter, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving a resume because he's older, and he's presenting the resume, and he says he'll explain it as he'll explain it later, in particular in the Antya-lila. But he wants to present these things in the form of sutras because he can't be sure if he'll be able to finish this. But he'll give some indication what the later pastimes of Mahaprabhu were like. And I've remarked before that similarly, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he was translating the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he had translated all through the first 9 cantos. Then the 10th canto is about Krishna Lila. But Srila Prabhupada previously summarized the whole 10th canto, complete, in the form of the Krishna book, which was a summary and explanation of the whole 10th canto with the understanding that Srila Prabhupada did so. He said that sometimes at a dinner table, the children are given sweets. They're given sweets to calm them down, even though the whole meal is going to be served. The children are sometimes served the sweets first. So Srila Prabhupada said he was giving the sweets first, but it's also understood that he wasn't sure if he would be able to finish the whole 10th canto. So he gave a summary of it in the form of the Krishna book, which is very nice. And actually, Srila Prabhupada wasn't able to finish the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 90 chapters of the 10th canto, and Srila Prabhupada finished the 13th chapter before he departed. And so the remainder of the 10th canto, 11th canto, and 12th canto was subsequently translated. And in particular, one devotee, Gopi Paranadhana, he was versed in Sanskrit, and he helped with the translation of those chapters. So we go quickly from the youth of Mahaprabhu up till the very end. When right at the end of the Madhya-lila, he takes sannyas. Now here he is in Jagannath Puri with Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, and he's giving us a description. Krishnadas is giving us a description of what is the relationship between Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. Tribhanga Sundara Braje Brajendra Nandan Kahampara Bansha Boreyanukan. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful, his body curved in 3 places. His desire to see that form was always increasing. Radhikun Marajaiche Udavadarshane Udgorna Pralapataiche Prabhuta Ratridine. Just as Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently with a bumblebee in the presence of Uddhava, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy talked crazily and inconsistently day and night. Dwadasha Bhatsara Sesha Aiche Gonaila Emata Sesha Lila Tri Bidane Koila. The last 12 years of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were passed in this transcendental craziness. Thus he executed his last pastimes in 3 ways. Sannyas Kori Chabish Vatsara Koila JJ Karma Ananda Paratar Ke Janive Marma. For the 24 years after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order, whatever pastimes he executed were unlimited and unfathomable. Who can understand the purport of such pastimes? Udesha Korite Kore Digdarshan Mukhya Lilare Kore Sutraganan. Just to indicate those pastimes, I am presenting a general survey of the chief pastimes in the form of sutras. These sutras are condensed verses. Pratama Sutra Prabhura Sannyas Karan Sannyas Kori Chalila Prabhu Sri Vrindavan. This is the first synopsis. After accepting the sannyas order, Mahaprabhu proceeded toward Vrindavan. Primite Bivala Bhaya Nahika Amaran Radha Deshe Tina Dina Korila Brahman. When proceeding toward Vrindavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna, and he lost all remembrance of the external world. In this way, he traveled continuously for 3 days in Radha Desh, the country where the Ganges River does not flow. Well, actually, Radha Desh, we could say, is on the western side of the Ganga. Nityananda Prabhu Mahaprabhu Bulaya Ganga Tire Loya Aila Jamuna Bolia. First of all, Lord Nityananda bewildered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by bringing him along the bank of the Ganges, saying that it was the river Jamuna. Shantipureya Charjara Grihe Agaman Pratama Bhikka Koila Tahan Ratri Sankirtan. After 3 days, Mahaprabhu came to the house of Advaitacharya at Shantipur and accepted alms there. This was his first acceptance of alms. At night, he performed congregational chanting there. It appears that in his transcendental ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgot to eat for 3 continuous days. He was even misled. He was then misled by Nityananda Prabhu, who said that the river Ganges was the Jamuna. Because the Lord was in the ecstasy of going to Vrindavan, he was glad to see the Jamuna, although in actuality the river was the Ganges. In this way, the Lord was brought to the house of Advaita Prabhu at Shandipur after 3 days, and he accepted food there. As long as the Lord remained there, he saw his mother Sachi Devi, and every night executed congregational chanting with all the devotees. So Mahaprabhu, for 3 days, he didn't know if it was day and night, and he was in ecstasy and believed he's traveling to Vrindavan. So due to some tricks of Nityananda Prabhu, he was brought to the Ganges. And they're then told that it was actually the Jamuna. And he bathed in the Ganges, offering prayers to the Jamuna. And then Advaita Acharya came there in a boat. And Mahaprabhu could understand that he had been tricked by Nityananda. But he agreed to come to Advaita Acharya's house, and Mother Sachi was brought there. And all the devotees from Navadip came also. So this was Mahaprabhu's, after taking sannyas, his final time there in Bengal. Later he came again, but I mean, he was now planning on going to Vrindavan, but by the petition of Mother Sachi, he went instead to Jagannath Puri. Mata Bhakta Ganera Tahan Korila Milan Sarva Samudana Kore Koilan Niladrigaman. At the house of Advaita Prabhu, he met his mother as well as all the devotees from Mayapur. He adjusted everything and then went to Jagannath Puri. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew very well that his acceptance of sannyas was a thunderbolt for his mother. He therefore called for his mother and the devotees from Mayapur, and by the arrangement of Sri Advaita Acharya, he met them for the last time after his acceptance of sannyas. His mother was overwhelmed with grief when she saw that he was clean-shaven. There was no longer any beautiful hair on his head. Mother Sachi was pacified by all the devotees, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked her to cook for him because he was very hungry, not having taken anything for 3 days. When it says here that Mahaprabhu hadn't accepted alms for 3 days, that's what that means. He hadn't eaten for 3 days. His mother immediately agreed, and forgetting everything else, she cooked for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then after a few days, Mahaprabhu requested his mother's permission to go to Jagannath Puri. At his mother's request, he made Jagannath Puri his headquarters after his acceptance of sannyas. Thus everything was adjusted, and with his mother's permission, Mahaprabhu proceeded toward Jagannath Puri. Actually, Sachi Mata, she asked Mahaprabhu, if you go to Vrindavan, we'll never hear of you again. And since my son Vishwarup has already left and taken sannyas and no one hears from him, that will be the death of me. So she said, but if you go to Jagannath Puri, it's closer, and people from Jagannath Puri are coming here. People from Bengal are always going to Jagannath Puri. People from Jagannath Puri are always coming to Bengal. That's where we'll get news of you. And Mahaprabhu agreed to her petition. Patinana Lila Ras Devadarshan Madhava Purir Kata Gopalastapan. On the way toward Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed many other pastimes. He visited various temples and heard the story about Madhavendra Puri and the installation of Gopal. Girachori Kira Churi Kata Saki Gopala Bivaran Nityananda Koila Prabhu Danda Banjan. From Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the story of Kir Churi Gopinath and of the witness Gopal, Sakshi Gopal. Then Nityananda Prabhu broke the sannyas rod belonging to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krudahoya Ekgela Jagannath Dekate. Krudahoya Ekgela Jagannath Dekite. Dekiya Morchita Hoya Padila Bhumite. After his sannyas rod was broken by Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu apparently became very angry and left his company to travel alone to the Jagannath temple. When Mahaprabhu entered the Jagannath temple and saw Lord Jagannath, he immediately lost consciousness and fell to the floor. Sarvabhauma Loya Gela Apana Pavan Tritiya Prabhu Sarvabhauma Loya Gela Apana Pavan Tritiya Prahare Prabhu Hoila Chaitan. After Mahaprabhu saw Lord Jagannath in the temple and fell unconscious, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya took him to his home. The Lord remained unconscious until the afternoon when he finally regained his consciousness. Nityananda, Jagannananda, Damodar Mukunda, Bache, Ashi, Milisabe, Pailananda. The Lord had left Nityananda's company and gone alone to the Jagannath temple, but later Nityananda, Jagannananda, Damodar, that's Damodar Pandit, and Mukunda came to see him. And after seeing him, they were very pleased. Tabe Sarvabhauma Prabhu Prashada Korila Apana Ishwara Murte Tare Dekaila. After this incident, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his mercy upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya by showing him his original form as the Lord. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was previously more inclined to the impersonal explanation of Shankaracharya, presented in the Sharirak Bhasha. And he was very enlightened, well, very learned, I should say. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very learned. And Mahaprabhu was a young sannyasi, so Sarvabhauma tried to help him and to instruct him. But Mahaprabhu actually converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya by Mahaprabhu's explanations of Srimad Bhagavatam and of the refutation of the conclusions of Shankaracharya. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became an exclusive devotee of Mahaprabhu. After this incident, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his mercy upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya by showing him his original form as the Lord. Tabita Korila Prabhu Dakina Gaman Kormaketre Koila Basudeva Bhimochan. After bestowing mercy upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the Lord started for southern India. When he came to Kurmakshetra, he delivered a person named Vasudeva. Vasudeva was a leper that was a devotee. Mahaprabhu delivered him and cured him also. Shiyada Nishinga Koila Nishinga Stavan Pate Pate Grame Grame Nama Pravartan. After visiting Kurmakshetra, the Lord visited the South India temple of Jiyada Nisringa and offered his prayers to Lord Nisringadeva. On his way, he introduced the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in every village. Godavare Tirabane Brindavana Brahma Ramananda Rai Saha Tahai Milana. Once the Lord mistook the forest on the bank of the river Godavari to be Vrindavan. In that place, he happened to meet Ramananda Roy. Trimala Tripadistan Koila Darshan Sarvatra Korila Krishna Nama Pracharan. He visited the places known as Tirumala and Tirupati, where he extensively preached the chanting of the Lord's holy name. So as Krishnadas Kaviraj is indicating, he's very quickly going from one thing to another here, describing in the form of sutras or condensed verses Mahaprabhu's later pastimes. Especially, this is a description of the Madhya-lila, Mahaprabhu's travels. Tabita pashandigani korila dalan, ahobalana shingari koila darashan. After visiting the temples of Tirumala and Tirupati, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to subdue some atheists. He then visited the temple of Ahobala Nrsinga. Shri Rangaketra Aila Kaviraj Tira Shri Ranga Dakiya Premi Hoila Astira. When Mahaprabhu came to the land of Shri Rangachetra on the bank of the Kaveri, he visited the temple of Shri Raghunath. When Mahaprabhu came to the temple of Shri Ranganath Kshetra on the bank of the Kaveri, he visited the temple of Shri Ranganath and was there overwhelmed in the ecstasy of love of Godhead. Shrimalabhat Eragare Koila Prabhu Bas Tahai Rohila Prabhu Barsha Charimas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived at the house of Trimalabhata for the 4 months of the rainy season during the Chaturmas. Right now, the period that we're in is the rainy season of time of the monsoons in India. The last 4 months, so it's called Chaturmas, means 4 months. Also, this is the time of the rainy season in Mexico. So there's some similarity between the rainy season of India and the rainy season of Mexico. And it's about 3-4 months in Mexico also. So this time it especially rains in the central part of Mexico. Shri Vaishnava Trimalabhata Parama Pandita Gosaira Panditya Premi Hoila Bishmita. Sri Trimalabhata was both a member of the Sri Vaishnava community and a learned scholar. Therefore, when he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was both a great scholar and a great devotee of the Lord, he was very much astonished. Chaturmashadaha Prabhu Sri Vaishnavarasane Gonaila Nritya Gita Krishna Sankirtane. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed the Chaturmasha months with the Sri Vaishnavas, singing, chanting the holy name, and dancing. Now, the Sri Vaishnavas, they're principally followers of Sri Ramanuja Acharya. He's the Acharya of the Sri Sampradaya, and they worship Lakshmi Narayan. They also worship they also worship Lord Ramachandra, Sita Ram. And previously, Trimalabhata was following the Sri Sampradaya, and he was a worshipper of Lakshmi Narayan. But after being with Mahaprabhu, his conception became converted to that of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And his son became Gopal Bhatta Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And I believe it's his brother, is Prabodhananda Saraswati, who also was a great Sanskrit poet and described Mahaprabhu's pastimes very beautifully. So they were members, they were there in Sri Ranganath Kshetra, and yet by Mahaprabhu's presence in their house, they all became converted to Mahaprabhu's conception, and so their previous situation within, as followers of Lakshmi Narayan, followers of the Sri Sampradaya, that changed. Chaturmashataha Prabhu Sri Vaishnavara Sane Gonaila Nritya Gita Krishna Sankirtane. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed the Chaturmasha months with the Sri Vaishnavas singing, chanting the holy name and dancing. Chaturmashante Puna Dakina Gaman Paramananda Puri Saha Tahai Milan. At the end of Chaturmasha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued traveling throughout South India. At that time, he met Paramananda Puri. Tabe Badatari Hoite Krishnadas Sharudar Ramajape Bipramuke Krishnanama Prachar. After this, Krishnadas was a Brahmin servant of Mahaprabhu who was traveling with Mahaprabhu. He becomes enchanted by the Bhattataris. After this, Krishnadas, a servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was delivered from the clutches of a Bhattatari, or of the Bhattataris. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then preached that Lord Krishna's name should also be chanted by Brahmins who were accustomed to chanting Lord Rama's name. In the Maladar district, a section of the Brahmins are known as Nambudari Brahmins, and the Bhattataris are their priests. Bhattataris know many tantric black arts, such as the art of killing a person, of bringing him under submission, and of destroying or devastating him. They are very expert in the black arts, and one such Bhattatari bewildered the personal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while the servant accompanied the Lord in his travels through South India. Somehow or other, Mahaprabhu delivered this Krishnadas from the clutches of the Bhattatari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is well known as Patita Pavan, the savior of the fallen souls. And he proved this in his behavior towards his personal servant Krishnadas, whom he saved. Sometimes the word Bhattatari is misspelled in Bengal as Bhattamari. They're tantric art persons. They know how to create black magic and bring someone under their control. They somehow or other entice Krishnadas with women or like that, and he was taken by the Bhattataris. But Mahaprabhu then went for him and dragged Krishnadas back by the hair. In the meantime, the Bhattataris attacked Mahaprabhu with weapons like hatchets and axes and like machetes or whatever. But when they attacked Mahaprabhu, all the weapons fell from their hands and began cutting them to pieces. So then Mahaprabhu rescued Krishnadas by pulling him out by the hair. The Bhattataris gave opposition. But although they knew black magic still, Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. He could counteract anything. So their own weapons started cutting them in pieces. Shirangapuri Saha Tahai Milan Rama Dasha Viprer Koila Dukkha Vimochan. Mahaprabhu then met Sri Rangapuri and mitigated all the sufferings of a Brahmin named Ramadas. Ramadas was a follower of Lord Ramachandra, but he was very, very upset. He was very, very upset that Sita had been kidnapped by Ravana, and he couldn't stand it. But Mahaprabhu showed that Ramadas, that actually that Sita, that was kidnapped by Ravana was a Maya Sita, a false representation of Sita. The real Sita was taken to the taken by Agnidas and protected, and what was stolen was by Ravana was a Maya Sita. You can say Maya Sita, false Sita. That was who was, and that was shown by Mahaprabhu to Ramadas, who was practically ready to give up his life because he was so upset by Sita having been kidnapped by Ravana. But then Mahaprabhu brought pages from the Kurma Purana and showed Ramadas that wasn't the real Sita who was kidnapped. And he saved, in that way, he saved Ramadas's life. Tatvavadi sahakoila tatvera bichar apanake hinabudi hoila sabar. Mahaprabhu also had a discussion with the Tattvavadi community, and the Tattvavadis felt themselves to be inferior Vaishnavas. So these Tattvavadis, they're followers of Madhvacharya, Sri Madhvacharya. And they try to, at first they thought Mahaprabhu was a Mayavadi sannyasi, but he asked them what the goal of life is. And they said the goal of life is liberation and to execute your duties in the Varnashrama system. Varnashrama means 4 Varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and 4 ashramas: sannyas, vanaprastha, grihastha, and brahmachari. So they told Mahaprabhu, when he asked them what is the goal of life, they said to execute one's duty in the Varnashram Dharma system and to attain liberation. And Mahaprabhu said, this is not at all the goal of life. He said, you're just trying to, because after they saw Mahaprabhu was chanting and dancing, because he is a great devotee, at first they thought it was a Mayavadi, but when he asked them the goal of life, and they said liberation and to engage in the Varnashram Dharma system and liberation, then Mahaprabhu said, you're just trying to flatter me because you know that sannyasi is both a Brahman and that Brahman, which is the highest Varna, and a sannyasi is the highest of the ashramas. So he's saying, you're trying to tell me that is important. That is the head of being head of the Varnashram Dharma system. But he says, that is completely external, and this is just your, basically told them, this is just your false way of preaching to me. And he said, and liberation is never the goal of life. The goal of life is service to the Lord. So, even though we are followers of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, it is not because of the preaching of persons like the Tattvavadis. It is by the presence of Madhavendra Puri, who appeared in that Sampradaya, but showed the first actual love of God, which is shown by the resonance of Vrindavan, and in particular the gopis. He showed that Madhavendra Puri, even though he was within the Madhva Sampradaya. But this kind of preaching, wrong preaching, was the mark of the Tattvavadis when Mahaprabhu visited. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also had a discussion with the Tattvavadi community, and the Tattvavadis felt themselves to be inferior Vaishnavas. The Tattvavadi sect belonged to Madhvacharya's Vaishnava community, but its behavior differs from the strict Madhvacharya Vaishnava principles. There is one monastery named Uttararadi, and one of its commanders was named Raghuvarya Tirtha Madhvacharya. So this is, of course, this was written this Chaitanya Charitamrita was written almost 50 years ago, so things may have changed, but this was what was happening. I'm going to stop here, and tomorrow we'll continue. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama
Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama
Gopa Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Janardan Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Te Vignana Shabishta Puran Jai Gosai Jar Muitaranas Tasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagras Janana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame Janame More Abhilas Jai Gosai Jabe Bhate Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Binduban Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Harinam Sankirtana Kohai Naratamudas Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyasta Tara Sada Shishi Man Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyasta Tara Sada Shishi Man Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.